And there you go. It's pretty simple, decent effect. The spider, you all know about the spider in the glass, right? There's a hole, some smart ass with a gun. It's not actually a full hole, it's a deep depression like a BB gun or something. Now, I've been told by the maintenance people they actually have the piece of glass to replace it. At the mirror, you can go and there's a door that takes you out to that balcony. And does anybody know how the effects are done? We all pretty much know, so I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. Old parlor tricks, really. When you're going across and you see it, that room is pretty much duplicated with all the animatronics underneath it. No furniture and all that. And it's just lights reflecting off of them and it's hitting the glass, and there you go. It's pretty simple, decent effect. The spider, you all know about the spider in the glass, right? There's a hole, some smart ass with a gun. It's not actually a full hole, it's a deep depression like a BB gun or something. Now, I've been told by the maintenance people they actually have the piece of glass to replace it. But think about how big that piece of glass is. There's only one way to get it in there. Take the roof off or a portion of it and drop it in with like a helicopter, crane, something like that. So, in present management, I don't think it's ever going to spend that kind of money just for that. They cover it up with a spider and they're good. When the hearse first got here, everybody says that's Brigham Young's hearse. I went on the internet and everybody said the one at Walt Disney World was Brigham Young's hearse. It's not, but it is an old hearse. I really wish they would do the little easy trick with the horse. You know, like the walking dog, put in there so it would move a little bit. I really think that would be cool, but no, I haven't done that.
We heard it Winnie the other day.
Really? Yeah. So sound effects. But we were freaked out one night. We weren't really paying attention to what's going on in Fantasmic. We cruised around it, got in line, and we thought they had to add some new effects. It was just a background from a portion of Fantasmic. They happened to be timed right with us being in that line. And I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. Because then during Halloween at the Tower of Terror, they had all kinds of effects with bats and little kid sounds like they're running, and it was kind of creepy. You know, and they're coming behind you, and it was done really well, and lightning effects on the tower. It was really kind of cool. Don't get any of that here, but the overlays we're seeing, if you ever can get out for it, they don't do it at Disney World, I guess, which is unfortunate. They don't do much at Disney World lately. They didn't do the holiday overlay at Paul Berry's Country Bear Jamboree either. See the original, with the eyes flipping backwards and the mouth's not moving. Yeah, it's well worth it. Yeah.
Couldn't hear the audio. It was awesome.
Yeah. Glad you arranged that. We rarely see this Fast Pass working anymore. At Christmas, it seems to always be going with the overlay. I personally don't like Fast Pass. I think it slows all the lines down, but that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean I don't take it, use it to my advantage when I can, but in general, I think it slows and puts more people in the street because you're always held up and waiting to let people in big groups. So that's just my personal opinion. We won't talk about the River Edge because that's Frontierland, and we're on a New Orleans Square tour. So somehow, the mansion, the other little fun fact, the mansion was supposed to be an original park. It's supposed to be on Main Street, on a little offside street, a little hill looking down. Didn't happen, so a few years later, they went from a Western theme, and it's evolved, and the story, Walt wanted it nice and pristine. The Imagineers would have liked to have it looking like where ghosts would actually live. So it ended up like this. I actually kind of like the Paris one the best, I think, because it looks like the Psycho House, kind of, and it looks like it should be scary. Next in line, I like the facade of Disney World, because I like that kind of architecture, and I can deal with this too. It's pretty nice. So that's it here. We'll walk back towards the apartment and see if the gallery's open yet, and go up there. Any questions? No? Okay, you're a good crowd. All right, let's go that way.
Oh, I do have a question.
One question.
Any idea why they never replaced the tombstones on the hill?
That's a really good question, and no, I don't.
I do.
Germ looks like he knows.
When they removed them the first time for the Haunted Mansion Holiday to put in the pumpkins, they hadn't been moved since they were placed in, so they pretty much crumbled in their hands. Maintenance has a thing, but again, it's a money situation. They've been trying to push to get them rebuilt for 5 years? No, yeah, 5 years, but it's something they keep on getting pushed back and back and back. So hopefully someday, I actually talked to the person who was pushing to get it done. She says that someday it will happen, but someday, maybe 2 or 3 years from now.
You know, I'm glad you asked that because it reminded me about the pet cemetery. You've all seen the pet cemetery, right? And you know, long-time guests here know that it didn't used to always be there, right? There's only one place you could see the pet cemetery way back. You had to be in a wheelchair or in crutches or in some way could not navigate the stairs or the queue in front. They were all the way on the other side in just this little planter area, and that's the only way you would see it is going along the side. So I'm glad it's out here. I think it's, you know, it's a decent replacement for, I'd like to get the ones on the hill back. It'd be nice if they had one like in Florida where the eyes move and look at you and the head. That's kind of creepy. But that's nice. But.
So what is behind the wooden door?
Which way?
There's a wood door that's down, where it goes down.
Oh, good question. When you're in the hallway, when you first get off the elevators, you'll see a door that goes right there. It actually leads into this little tiny corridor, very tiny, and it's, you know, emergency exit.
Chicken exit?
You could call it a chicken exit, yeah.
It's the earthquake exit.
Oh. You know, we took some, I don't know where they went. I took some folks on it yesterday. They had not, you know, first time here. They were blown away by the effects in our mansion compared to Florida's. So, yeah, I mean, we're using digital display or projectors on a lot of things for the talking heads. They experimented for a while with inside projections, sort of like Buzz. It just didn't come off right. Leota now is floating. I'm sure you've all seen that. The table used to float, and with the ball mounted to it, that one was pretty cool. So we just kept up on the stuff. The new bride, that whole new scene almost makes the rest of it look old. I kind of wish I'd bring everything else up to that level, but the bride and the heads being chopped off, a little smirk on her face, I'm digging the new bride. So. I'm not digging the backstories that are coming with the new bride. And I don't know if the woman was interviewed who did that. I worked there for a long time, talked to a lot of people. I don't buy into all the Gracie backstories, but there was an Imagineer named Gracie who worked on the project, so I think that's where some of that comes from. But anyways, we'll move on that one.
You have to go up Main Street and pay. How'd I do? Did I do that
That's
right?
pretty good.
All right. It really wasn't too hard.
I'm saying.
I'm here every day. How much gold will you give me?
I was going to say, if you want.